I, 23 female, met my boyfriend's 25 male work wife for the first time, and I'm devastated. So, throwaway account because this is a pretty personal drama and I don't want all my friends knowing about this just yet. I have been with my boyfriend for 5 years now, and he's been at his current job for a few years. We will call him Jake. I've never met any of his coworkers until last night, but there's one in particular who we will call Amy. He sometimes does favors for her, fixing her car, going to her house to fix stuff around her house, etc. And I was never really concerned because he told me all his coworkers are a lot older than him. However, one night while he was asleep, his guy friend kept blowing up his phone, so I answered to let him know Jake was sleeping and so was I. So please, stop calling. Anyways, before I put the phone down, I noticed 5 unread text notifications. From Amy. I guess some of the spam notifications were from her. One of them said, "Great Jake, now everyone thinks we are effing." This really concerned me. So, the next day, after Jake got home from work, I asked about it. He said that both him and Amy were late for work that morning, so everyone probably assumed that, and it was just a joke. I thought it was a weirdly unprofessional joke and expressed my discomfort. He invited me to the bar with him and his coworkers that night so I could meet her and see it was nothing to worry about. It did not soothe my nerves at all. Turns out, Amy is not a lot older than him. She's only 3 years older and super pretty. The entire night she was all over him, touching him, leaning on him, putting his arms around him, and even kissed him on the cheek, and he acted like it was normal. They were constantly teasing each other, in that middle schooler who doesn't know how to properly flirt, yet kind of way. She told me all about how she loves him like a brother, and also told me she's had sex with half of their other coworkers, and that she got the next morning off work because she sent a coworker nudes to get him to cover for her. Later on, she started crying and sobbing at the bar, actual tears, because she's so lonely and wants someone to love her, and my boyfriend ended up having to comfort her. I am just unsure what to do or say. My boyfriend kept acting like this was normal, that he wasn't doing anything wrong by entertaining this behavior. I can't ask him to cut her off. They're on the same unit and they have to work together. I literally do not know what to do about this, but I'm just disgusted knowing this has been going on these years that he's worked with her. How can I set boundaries when they're forced to be around each other all the time at work? Lots of people gave me advice so far, and I agree. He's asleep right now and has work in the morning. It's nighttime where I live. When he gets home from work tomorrow, I'm going to tell him the behaviors I found disrespectful. Explain why it makes me uncomfortable and ask him to set boundaries with her. I plan on asking him to send her a text saying he's uncomfortable with those things and tell her to stop, so I can see it and know he actually did it. But mostly I'm just going to observe how he reacts to it. If he's understanding and sets the boundaries with her, I plan on just trying to trust him. Then have him invite his coworkers out again in a month so I can observe how they interact at the bar, to see if they're actually respecting the boundaries or not. If he gets defensive or argumentative when I ask him to do this, well then, it's probably better for me to just end it at that point. I will update you about how it goes. I scrolled through his texts with her and I found nothing concerning, until I realized the texts only go back a few months. I know for a fact they've been texting since she started working there 2 years ago, so I'm now worried that he deleted their previous conversation. I don't see any other explanation, unless she got a new phone number a few months ago. Update, almost 1 month later, so to start this off, I have to apologize for not updating sooner. It's been a while and I'm not sure if you guys will even remember me or my post lol. A lot has happened and I've just been overwhelmed. I want to say thank you to everyone who gave advice. The original post got over 2 million views, so there were tons of comments and I read them all even if I didn't respond. I did not expect it to blow up like that. Before I give the update, I want to give some clarifications about frequently asked questions on the original post. My boyfriend told me that all his coworkers were a lot older than him, but that was when we were discussing other coworkers months prior, so I understand why he didn't happen to mention the one exception, Amy, since she wasn't on topic. He was making a generalization. So, update time. I did end up talking to Jake. I struggled finding a good time to bring it up, because we ended up being invited on a spontaneous trip with our friends shortly after I made my post. But I ended up talking to him when we had a moment alone at the hotel. I explained how those behaviors made me feel, and he told me he wanted to discuss this, but wasn't sure how to bring it up either since we didn't talk about it when it happened. I was so emotionally defeated the night we got home from the bar that I went to sleep without a word anyways. Jake told me that he was also completely caught off guard by how Amy was acting at the bar. He said that while she did make odd comments every now and then, she had never physically done anything until that night, and he let their other female coworker know he was uncomfortable with how Amy acted at the bar, and she agreed and said she would not schedule him with Amy anymore since she manages the schedule. I mentioned in my last post that Amy was constantly boasting about sleeping with a bunch of men and sending them pictures or whatever. I interpreted this as she's trying to tell him he's down to do anything with anyone, including him. She's telling him she's interested. She's telling him she likes having sex. Jake, however, interpreted the flirty comments as her personality, because she was that way with everyone and interpreted the sleeps with a bunch of men boasting as, "I'm not interested in you personally though," which is why he didn't find it odd. You know how when you start talking to someone of the opposite sex, they'll casually slip in a mention of their girlfriend, boyfriend as a way to let you know they're already taken and are only interacting with you platonically. He thought it was like that, and that was why she kept mentioning whoever she was seeing at the time. During our conversation, Jake reassured me that he loves me and only wants me. He apologized for not resolving this sooner and that he just felt super awkward at the bar when he realized what she was doing and he didn't know how to react. He mentioned that he would never do anything with Amy or anyone like Amy, and that he found her promiscuity and emotional instability to be unattractive. He believed that the reason she suddenly started being so handsy with him that night at the bar was because I was there and that must have made her lash out. But he promised it had never happened before that. After this conversation and him showing me texts from his coworker stating he won't be scheduled with Amy anymore, I felt a lot better, until Jake told me he wanted to talk one day. He said that even though he wasn't scheduled on the same shifts as Amy anymore, she started switching shifts with people to work with him. Because of that, he started applying to jobs and later on let me know he got accepted to be a field technician at redacted for privacy *. He put his 2 weeks in at his current job and now he only has 1 week left until he starts. It's a field he's more interested in, has better pay, and obviously Amy won't be there. Overall, I'm currently happy and feel a lot better that he cut her, and soon that entire work environment out of our lives. We've been talking about a lot of things since then. Better communication, how we can enforce boundaries even when it's awkward. I know this update is going to make a lot of people displeased. Most responses wanted me to end our relationship, but I'm happy with where things are going currently.